Good morning and welcome to the XM.com weekly market update. And joining me is Peter Maguire, the CEO of XM. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Andrew.
What a night.
What a night.
Plenty of activity. Let's pull it apart a bit. So
Yep.
The Australian GDP numbers are coming out pretty much right now. But they're going to be a very low number. And as the chart shows, over the last few quarters, the economy is slowly grinding slower.
Slowly grinding slower. Yes, exactly right. And what we said as far as a couple of weeks back, that how we roll into Christmas as far as retail sales, and do we see a bump up or just a continual softness? So we've got to see the numbers. I think we've pretty much hand on heart, there's no chance of any form of rate rise. And Bank of Canada could come out today and actually have a 50 basis point cut. So that'll be their third cut. You've got, of course, European Central Bank this month, Fed 2 weeks today. There's a lot of downward pressure for rate policy.
Yeah, and New Zealand have started coming as well. So.
And Korea.
And Australia, you sort of think it could come by the end of the year, even though the Reserve Bank haven't spoken like that. But if you look at the state of the economy, their hand might be forced later in the year.
I would think so.
And China, the PMI came out, which was a stronger number than expected. But looking at the chart, it's been pretty much flat for the best part of 18 months now.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think we've just got to work through that, see what policy changes the Chinese are prepared to try and re-engage for their economy. They've got large unemployment numbers, and all of this is having, I think, grave effect. And it'll be interesting, Andrew, also, two things. If President Trump is successful, and it's 2 months away nearly to the day as far as the election, if he is successful and re-engages American manufacturing, then that's going to be to the dearth of China. There's the first part. And then what does he do as far as tariffs? That's going to really impact.
Well, he's talking a lot about tariffs as well.
Yeah.
So whether or not they get implemented or not, who knows? But that's
where he's focusing.
That's the rhetoric at the moment for sure. Now, overnight, the US ISM number came out, which was slightly lower than expected, but an extraordinary reaction by the equity markets.
47.5, and I saw that Nikkei's down 4% this morning, but you got the Nasdaq down 3.25. So yeah, big sell-off. Australia's down 2% as we talk Wednesday morning. Markets are open, and Dow 1.5% down, S&P 2.12, and Nvidia, you can't take your eye off that, down just on 10%.
So it's only up about 1,000% now.
Yes, 1,104 to be exact.
So, yeah, no, incredible reaction though. And the CPI PCE came out late last week, pretty much as expected on the market. Inflation is more or less under control, still slightly high, but I think the attention is now turning away more about the economy, employment, and maybe not recession yet, but is there a little bit of weakness there now?
Absolutely. I mean, this week's a big week. We've got the JOLTS report. We've got non-manufacturing ISM, I think, on Thursday. We've got the JOLTS report on Thursday as far as job numbers, and then you've got the big one, non-farm payrolls released on Friday. Analysts are saying between 100 to 208. That seems to be the band as far as where everyone throws their hat in the ring to pick a number. And this is the great concern to Fed Chair Powell. 2 weeks today, you're going to have the Fed meeting on the 18th. And if those numbers are weaker than expected, then that all really tips the scale to say 50 basis points.
Yeah.
So hold on and hang on.
Yeah, it's be interesting, but they've got the room to do that though, which is purely because they've kept rates so high for so long.
That's right.
Now this chart, this is the US equity markets for August of this year, which shows
I can't believe it.
Nearly at the all-time high at the start of the month. We had that huge sell-off early in the month around the yen carry trade and some employment data, and then the recovery. Now obviously that's changed overnight, but it's an incredible bounce back.
Absolutely, and I think I just want to say a couple of things. If you live in the Asia Pacific time zone and you trade US markets, and I spoke with Andrew before we started the show, and I said I really want to make point of this. You have to be awake to trade these markets. Just look at that sell-off and what you've seen, that big crunch down, and then the big reversal. You need to be across it because the markets are so dynamic. This is where, just set and forget and go to sleep. You really can't do it. If you're going to trade US equities, you've got to be awake for US equities. Would that be fair comment?
It is. You need to live a nocturnal lifestyle.
Yeah, but that's exactly right. And I think traders have got to be conscious, where do they want to base themselves? You live in Asia Pacific, are you a European trader, are you an Asia Pacific trader, or are you a US trader?
Yeah, you've got to make the call. Tough to do all three.
Oh, well, you know as well as I do, you can't because it's 24 hours a day. But as you and I know, and you worked at Bloomberg for many years, people move. If they want to trade US equities, they move to the US.
That's
or
right.
they move to South America.
Yes.
And they focus because they're in that time zone.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, yeah. Speaking of volatility, oil as well.
Yeah, crunched down.
Now that's close to lows for the year.
Under $70 for WTI. I feel as though that they've sorted out that Libya situation. That was a big concern, and that seems to have, with the central bank there, from a geopolitical standpoint. But the other one is that ISM number was so weak at 47.5, then that really is a gauge as far as US demand. And obviously they're downdraft at the moment. Let's see how the job numbers go, and it could continue a downtick.
Yeah. So there's plenty of volatility, plenty of uncertainty, and like you said earlier, we've still got 2 months until that election as well.
Yeah, you bet.
As that ramps up as well. So plenty going on. We'll keep an eye on it, and we can regroup next week.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you, Andrew.
And that's the XM.com weekly market update.